What's better on a cold winter's day than a delicious bowl of soup and a nice warm fire? Over here I have a delicious bowl of bluegill and catfish chowder soup. I'm going to show you how to cook this one today. So right here I have all my ingredients for this chowder laid out. I love it because they're really simple ingredients that are easy to find, easy to come by, and it's real simple to put together. So when I'm looking at it, one of the first things you'll probably notice, for sure one of the first things I noticed was right here we have celery, onions, and carrots. Okay, this reminds me a lot of the Holy Trinity you see in Cajun cooking. That's celery, onions, and bell peppers. Now that's a Cajun adaptation of the traditional French mirepoix. So the mirepoix is a mix of celery, onions, and carrots. This shouldn't be surprising, right? It's believed that chowder, the soup chowder, came from fishermen and sailors who were originally French who settled in Canada. So we think of chowder, when we think of it, we think of New England, but it was actually from the French folks living up close to New England. So it's no surprise that you see these ingredients that are mainstays in French cooking showing up here. You also see them with Cajun food because it was very influenced by the French cooking. I guess if you wanted to, maybe you could even try to sub out the carrots with a bell pepper. I don't know, make like a Cajun chowder. Don't know how that would come out though. Okay. Also over here, of course, is chowder. You got to have your potatoes and your cream. The cream is a key part of a chowder. I threw in some peas just because I love peas, right? I have some blue corn I grew over the summer. A lot of recipes are called for a can of creamed corn. I don't want to buy stuff from the store, so I use my blue corn. And then over here you have the fish. I'm using bluegills and some catfish. I wanted to do it mostly bluegill, but I had a bag from Choke Canyon that had 2 bluegills in it and 2 kind of small catfish fillets. So I said, okay, I'll just throw in some catfish. What I really love about this recipe is how these ingredients are great for where we live. Carrots grow great here in carrots, onions, they grow great here in Central Texas. Potatoes grow phenomenal. Corn grows phenomenal. Peas, they grow great if you sow them when it's cold. Celery, I've never grown celery. I'm sure it would do good here in the winter, but it wouldn't do too good in the spring, right? The fish, the Guadalupe River down here is full of bluegills. I mean, every river, lake, creek in Texas is going to have bluegills and other panfish. So when you look at it, really the only thing you probably need to buy from the store is your cream. Okay, maybe you need to buy the celery if you don't have any. But overall, you're looking at maybe only having to buy an ingredient or two. And hey, if you don't produce your own food, these aren't that crazy a group of ingredients to get together. And you can always, have one thing not be present or throw in another ingredient, etc. So just throw in your mirepoix, your celery, your onions, your carrots, and saute them a little bit. You don't want to overcook them, but you want to get them sauteed a little bit. Maybe have those onions start to turn translucent. Now you can go ahead and put in your papitas, Just stir in your potatoes. Let them cook a couple minutes, right? We're not trying to do crispy breakfast potatoes for a taco or something, right? We're just trying to cook them a little bit, soften them up, get that flavor exposed for when we make our soup. Now we got our vegetables sauteed, we got to add in 4 cups of water. And water is what makes soup so beautiful when you think about it. With soups, you don't need a lot of ingredients to feed a lot of people. And I think that's why you see soups so commonly as centerpieces in traditional cooking, People didn't always have a lot of ingredients back in the day. We don't always have a lot of ingredients now. So you use that water to really make the food stretch, last a little longer, feed a little more people. You bring that water just to the point of boiling. And then let's lower the heat and let it simmer for about 10 minutes uncovered. Okay, it's been simmering about 10 minutes, so now we're just going to throw in our corn, our peas, our cream, and finally, we get to add in our fish right here. Mix all of this up. And we're going to cover it and let it simmer at least 5 minutes until that fish looks like it's done, more or less. Depends on how long that takes. Well, there you have it. Our chowder is now ready to eat. You'll notice the recipe I based it off of called for bacon, and I didn't use any bacon. I have some home-smoked wild hog bacon. It's just a weekday lunch. I didn't feel like bothering with one more ingredient. Bacon makes almost everything taste better. I'm sure this will be no exception. There's lots of ways to church up this recipe. Chop up some chives, put them on top of the bowl. Chives grow great here. I've had chives I planted last spring. They survived all through the summer, all through the winter. Great ingredient. Green onions, you could use those too. Put bacon on top of the soup after you have cooked it. Put cheddar cheese on top. I'll probably put some cheese on top of mine. And of course some crackers. Crumple up your crackers, whatever. Great recipe. Lots you can do with it. Hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you.